Hello students. So in the last lecture we had discussed about the work and power, and we have discussed about the different units of work and power also in the provided notes. So today we are going to study about energy, its different forms and their measurement. So let's start from the definition of energy. What do you mean by energy? So if I go theoretical, in a very theoretical way, so energy is the ability to do work, or it is the capacity to do work. And I would like to write that definition here. Energy is the capacity, or we can say energy is a capacity or an ability to do work. But sometimes this definition makes no sense to the students, that sir, we are not getting the definition in a very proper way. So I would like to go back to my statement that the energy and work, these are the two opposite faces of the same coin, and I would like to represent it with the help of a coin. So if I say this is a coin and its one face represents energy, so another face would represent work. So you can transform energy into work and back work into energy. Yes, they can be transformed in with respect to each other. So what is the meaning of energy? So basically, suppose we can say somebody is doing some kind of a work over a body. So to do that work, he needs some kind of energy to we can say convert his energy into some kind of a mechanical effect, which is called work. I have told you already that work is a kind of a mechanical form of energy. So energy is a non-mechanical form of work. In reverse we can say it is like heat energy, light energy, sound energy. These are non-mechanical forms. Ultimately sound energy is in itself is some kind of a mechanical form due to the vibrations of the particles, we can say. So basically energy and work, they are interchangeable. They can be intertransformed with respect to each other, right? So energy, we can say it's a non-mechanical form of work. Let me demonstrate this thing in a very simple way. That suppose some kind of a work is being done over a body with the help of an external agency. External agency means with the help of a person or with the help of another kind of machine or device. So suppose we are talking about a work is being done on a body with the help of or by an external agency, okay, or by a person. Let's imagine this situation, that a box is being displaced from this position to this one position, as a person is trying to push this box. Okay, so this is an external agency. I would like to say E, an external agency, E, and this box is being displaced. So this is a body B, the body, right? So it is being displaced right now. So here comes the question that what is actually energy, and this example is going to give you an idea about the energy. So this work is being done, and I have told you already that work is a mechanical form of energy. So if I say that this person is exerting a force over the box to displace it, it means the person is doing some kind of a work. So let's say the person work is W. The person's work is W. It is being represented here. So if I ask a question that this work is displacing the box, so what is right now this work, we can say what is the effect of this work on the box. So you will say that there is a mechanical effect in the form of motion. Yes, but if I ask that this work source, if I ask about the source of this work, what is the source of this work? So the energy which is possessed by the person or this person E, that energy is a source of the work. Means the energy of the person, or the external agency E is acting as a source of work W. Yes, it means the person's energy is being transformed in the form of work, and again that work will get stored. That work W will get stored in the form of energy into the box. I will discuss about that thing later. But right now, energy is a non-mechanical form of work which is possessed by a body, and it gets transformed in the form of work when somebody tries to implement it in the form of movement or displacement or any kind of a mechanical effect. Okay, so work can be transformed into energy, or energy can be transformed into work. I hope the idea of energy is very clear for you. Now let's talk about different forms of energy. We know in a very usual way that in earlier classes we had studied heat energy, light energy, sound energy. These are different forms of energy. In the same way, there are two forms of energy which are some kind of mechanical forms. We can say like kinetic energy and potential energy. There are two forms, kinetic energy, potential energy. These are the just mechanical forms of energy. So ultimately we are going to talk about work again, because I told you that mechanical form of energy is work. So if I am going to study about you are going to study about kinetic energy or potential energy, it means we are going to study about the transformation of energy into work, or the transformation of work into the form of kinetic and potential energy. So that's why I say that these are two interchangeable physical quantities. Energy to work, work to energy, we can transform them, interchange them with respect to each other. So the energy of the person is being transferred into the form of work here. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind, that whenever somebody is acting or if somebody is doing some kind of a work, he is transforming his energy or her energy in the form of work. Yes, we can represent it in the form of a bar level. If I say in the beginning of the work, this is the level of energy of the person in that example, and the box is not displaced yet. So the level of work is, let's say, 0. So this energy is being transferred into the form of work. It is being transferred. You can represent it. Okay, so after some time, what will happen? You will see one amazing change, that the person will get tired, because he can say that I am exhausted right now. It means his energy level is decreasing continuously, because he is transforming his energy in the form of work W. You can say after some time the bar chart will go in this way. Okay, so I hope this is very clear for you, that what is energy. So it's a different form of work, or we can say non-mechanical form of work. So its representation only gets changed. It is represented by capital E, and its SI unit will remain same as work. So we can call it same Joule, represented by capital J. And CGS unit ergs, we know it very well. Now let's talk about two mechanical forms of energy, kinetic energy and potential energy. Fine. So now let's discuss about kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy and potential energy And as I told you already, that these are two mechanical forms of energy. These are two mechanical forms of energy. So ultimately they are something related to work, because I told you already that work is a mechanical form of energy. So obviously if we want to define kinetic energy and potential energy, these are something to be related with work. Okay, so to understand what is actually kinetic energy and what is potential energy, let's start step by step. Let's start from kinetic energy first. So kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, if we say in a very theoretical way, that the kinetic energy is a form of energy which is possessed by a body when it is in motion. Means the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion. At that time it is called the kinetic energy. That energy is called the kinetic energy. Okay, so right now if we want to define kinetic energy, according to the definition we can write that the form of energy or the energy possessed by a body, the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion. There is no problem, but this definition sometimes it appears to be difficult for some students. So I would like to introduce a new concept for this. As we have discussed it already, that these are the mechanical forms, and if these are mechanical forms, we have discussed it already that the mechanical form of energy is actually work. So I would like to link two things together, that the motion of a body and the work which is being done for the motion. The work which is being done for the motion. So let's start from the state of rest, because if we want to define the energy work which is being done to keep a body in motion, so we should start from the rest. So suppose a body initially is in rest state, means its initial velocity is 0 meter per second, right? So ultimately if we want to move this body with a constant velocity v, suppose we want to make this body to move with a constant velocity v, so ultimately we need to do some kind of a work over this. This is very simple, that we need to do some kind of a work on the body so that it can come into the state of motion. And I have told you already that energy and work, these are interchangeable concepts and two faces of the same coin. So this work which is being done over a body to make it in a motion, a state of motion, so that work will get stored in the body in the form of kinetic energy. So this definition will become effective. So let's try to define it again. The energy possessed by a body, instead of this definition we should say kinetic energy of a body is the work which is done, on the body to make it in the state of motion, to make it in the state of constant motion, or you can say uniform motion, to make it in the state of uniform motion from the state of rest. Yes, this definition will lead you to the derivation or to the formula of kinetic energy. We will go for this definition in a very mathematical way. So let's start. Initially the body's velocity was supposed to be 0 because initially it is at rest, and we are doing some kind of a work over it which is being transformed in the form of kinetic energy as soon as the body reaches up to a state of v velocity or up to a state of motion of a constant speed. So we need to calculate the work for this. So let's say the body is displaced by s and a force is being acted on the body. Ultimately, if we are doing some kind of a work over our body, according to the formula, there must be a force acting on the body and there must be a displacement. Okay, so let's go for it. So the work done for this displacement, let's say W equals to force F into S cos theta. We know it very well, universal formula. Here the force and displacement are having same direction, so theta is 0 and cos 0 is actually 1. So we are talking about the maximum work done. So W equals to F into S. Now let's talk about the formula of force. You may even copy the content and that new definition so that you can further study or you can further study about the concept. So F into S. Let's talk about the formula of force. Force is, if I say the mass of the body is M, so force is mass into acceleration. You have studied this thing in the previous class. Force is mass into acceleration. I would like to introduce this here. So W equals to M into A into S. Right? Now we are having the initial velocity, we are having the final velocity and the displacement, but we are not having the value of acceleration here. So I would like to replace acceleration with the help of equations of motion. So from the equations of motion, you may even erase this. From the equation of motion, let me mark it here. We know that what is the relation between acceleration, displacement, initial velocity and final velocity? Third equation of motion. V square equals to U square plus 2AS. We know it very well. Or we can write A equals to V square minus U square upon 2S. Right? So we can put the value of acceleration here. What will you get? The work done, W equals to mass into V square minus U square upon 2S into S. S to S will get cancelled and W equals to, we can say mv square minus mu square upon 2, and I would like to say that I should write it like this one, half mv square minus half mu square. This is not the formula right now we need. Actually there is something related to the next concept also, so that's why I am starring it or highlighting this. So let's say, since initial velocity was 0, the body has started from the rest state, so u is 0, so the work done is supposed to be half mv square, and according to the definition, the work which is being done to make a body in the state of motion from the state of rest is called the kinetic energy of the body. So I should write it as kinetic energy, Ke equals to half mv square, or simply represented by capital K. So what is the formula of kinetic energy for a body which is moving with a constant velocity? So the kinetic energy of a body of mass m and the velocity v is supposed to be half mv square according to this formula. So this is the formula for kinetic energy. I hope this entire derivation is very clear for you. In the next point we will discuss about the formula of potential energy, and keep this thing in mind that this is not the actual formula. This state we will require for the next topic. That's why I am highlighting this. Okay, so you may pause the video to copy this. Now let's talk about potential energy. Now if I go according to the theoretical definition, potential energy is the energy possessed by a body, energy possessed by a body due to its state of rest, or its position, shape or size. That energy is called potential energy. But again, let's try to simplify this definition and try to link this definition with mechanical form of energy, that is work. Okay, So to understand this, let's remind the definition of work. Work is always done against a force. If there is no opposing force, there will be no work done. So against a force, to keep a body at a particular position, in a particular size, in a particular shape, that work done will get stored in the form of potential energy. It means, for an example, just you want to keep suppose a magnet against the repulsion force of another magnet or stronger magnet at a fixed position. So you need to do some kind of a work. You need to hold that body at a particular position, that magnet at a particular position. So the work which is being done by you will get stored in the magnet in the form of potential energy. In the same way, if you are trying to keep pushing a spring against the restoring force of the spring, and you want to hold the body at a particular position in the compressed state of the spring, so ultimately you need to do some work to compress it and to keep in the state of rest against the restoring force of the spring. So that work will get stored in the form of potential energy. So only the name will get changed. In the same way, if I take an example of, suppose I am just trying to, or you are just trying to keep a marker in the state of rest, or you are just keeping or holding a marker on your palm up to a particular height from the ground. So ultimately you are not doing any kind of work right now because you are not displacing this marker up or down. But still you will get tired after some time. Why? Because you are doing a work, mechanical work, in the form of work against gravitational force. You are keeping it up to a particular height against gravitational force. So the work which is being done by you, it will get stored, or it is being stored in the form of potential energy, or we call it gravitational potential energy. Only the name will get changed according to the we can say source of the force or opposing force. Magnetic potential energy, electric potential energy, gravitational potential energy, elastic potential energy in the case of spring. So let's try to define potential energy again. So according to the newly developed definition is the energy possessed by a body, or when we say to keep, or it is a form of work to keep a body in a state of rest for a particular size, or in a particular size or shape against any opposing force. That work will get stored in the form of potential energy of the body. Okay, so this definition will lead you to the mathematical plot of this potential energy. So keep this thing in your mind. The name or the form of potential energy will be named according to the opposing force. If you are doing some kind of work to keep a body, suppose you are doing some kind of work to keep a charge, to hold a charge against electric force, so you will call it electric potential energy. If you are holding this marker against gravitational force, it will be called gravitational potential energy. Or if you are keeping the spring compressed in the compressed state, so you are doing work against the restoring force or elastic force of the spring, so simply you call it elastic potential energy. So right now let's try to derive a formula for gravitational potential energy. Please pay attention on this, that the formula for potential energy is not universal. Only this theme will remain as a universal theme, but the formula will get changed according to the type of opposing force. So the formula of elastic potential energy would be different, the formula for gravitational potential energy will be different. In the same way, the formula for elastic potential energy will be different. So right now, according to the syllabus, we will try to Find out the formula for gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy. Okay, so again we will use this definition. So to keep a body of mass m at a particular height, or to bring a body from the ground up to a particular height h against gravitational force, to keep, or we can say to bring even, because still after reaching to that point you need to hold a body up to that particular height. So to bring or to keep a body, fine. So you are or we are bringing this body from ground to up the height h against gravitational force, and the gravitational force which is acting on the body is known as weight of the body, which is actually mg. So ultimately you need to apply a force just equal in opposite direction to keep the body up to this point. Let's call it F. So F would be mathematically equivalent to mg, opposite in direction but mathematically equal, and the displacement S is equivalent to h. So the work done to keep the body at height h is supposed to be W. According to the definition, that work done would be force into displacement cos theta, where theta is the angle between displacement and the force. Displacement is in upward direction, force is also in upward direction, so the angle between them theta is 0, in the same direction they are acting. So theta is 0, so cos 0 is actually plus 1. So we are talking about maximum work done, F into S simply. Or this work done, we can write W equals to force is mg right now and the displacement is h. So the work done is said to be mgh, and this work done will get stored in the body in the form of potential energy of the body, represented by Pe or capital U. Just like kinetic energy is being represented by capital K, it will be represented by capital U. So capital U is mgh. It is gravitational potential energy. Keep this thing in your mind that this is the formula for only and only gravitational potential energy, not for elastic potential energy or electric potential energy. Fine. So I hope this thing is very clear for you, that what is the meaning of kinetic energy, what is the meaning of potential energy, and different forms of potential energy. Even in the same way, different forms of kinetic energy also we can discuss. Right now we are going to discuss about one thing, that if what will happen if we are doing some kind of work on a body which is already in motion. Means in the kinetic energy derivation we had discussed about the work which is being done to keep a body in motion from the state of rest. So what will happen if a body is already in the state of motion? So let's try to discuss about this, and if you want to copy this you may pause the video. And the same as energy, whatever we are talking about, heat energy, light energy, kinetic energy, the SI unit of energy will remain same, joule. So what will happen if we try to do some kind of a work over a body which is already in motion? Means this time initial velocity is not 0, body is already in motion, let's say u, and you are trying to do some kind of work over a body by applying a force F over this. Due to this force, there is a change in the velocity, let's say v, final velocity, and during this change the body has been displaced by a displacement s. So a work is said to be done. So if I say a work is being done on a body moving initially with velocity u, due to this work done, due to which its new velocity is, there will be an acceleration or retardation. Opposite direction work done will make a retardation, obviously. Its new velocity is v now. So if I want to check what is the effect of this work done on the body, so let's check. Let's try to calculate this work done. So according to us, work done is force into displacement cos theta. Again in the same direction, displacement and the force. So theta is 0 and cos 0 is 1 again. So W equals to simply F into S. Positive work is being done, and if you are doing some kind of a negative work, so there will be a negative sign ultimately, because theta would become 180. So W equals to force is mass into acceleration into displacement, and again through the same equation of motion, third equation of motion, V square equals to U square plus 2AS, or we can write A as V square minus U square upon 2S. So you can replace A here. So work done, W equals to M into V square minus U square upon 2S into S, or S to S will get cancelled. Now what will you get? W equals to half mv square after separating the LCM minus half mu square. We know that the generalized formula for kinetic energy's generalized formula was half mv square. So it is the kinetic energy when the velocity of the body is v, mass is m. So think about this. What will be the initial kinetic energy? So ultimately, initial kinetic energy, if I try to represent by Ki, so initial kinetic energy Ki would be half into mass into initial mass is supposed to be m again. Fine. So initial velocity, because half into mass into at that moment velocity is square. So at that moment velocity is u. So initial kinetic energy is half mu square. And at this moment I would like to say it final kinetic energy Kf. So final kinetic energy is Kf equals to half mv square ultimately. So I can replace, or I can rewrite this statement as work done equals to half initial final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So ultimately this is the change in kinetic energy, delta K, change in kinetic energy. So it shows what will be the effect of this work done. So if you are doing some kind of a work over a already moving body, so the work done will make a change in its kinetic energy. So whenever you are doing some kind of work over a moving body, it will change its kinetic energy. So the work done over a body will make a change in its kinetic energy. This derivation is known as work energy theorem, because it is simply providing a relation between change in kinetic energy and the work. This thing simply called work energy theorem, and it is very important regarding your 10th class syllabus and board examination. Work energy theorem, and it will be so helpful for solving the numeric problems related to the kinetic energy and the work. You do not need to go through the entire derivation. Simply, if the body's velocity is changing from suppose 10 meter per second to 20 meter per second, and mass is given already, and the question is calculate the work which is done on the body. So you do not need to solve this entire mathematical step. You can use this formula directly. Means you have to calculate the final kinetic energy by half mv square, initial kinetic energy by half mu square, and just the difference between them. It will give you the value of work done. I hope this entire derivation is very clear for you, and the concept of potential energy and the kinetic energy. In the next session we will discuss about the different energy transformations and the law of conservation of energy. Okay, and one more thing, transformation of energy of we can say kinetic energy to potential energy also. So you are going to solve the numeric problems related to this concept. You are going to use these formulations, and again I am telling you that in the questions in which any initial velocity and the final velocity is given and the work done is asked, so you do not need to go through the entire derivation. Simply put the values and calculate the initial and the final kinetic energy and the difference between them. So you will be able to calculate the work done. Fine. So now I would like to discuss about a little bit two doubts from the student side. Okay. Now let's discuss about question number 22 from exercise 2 B. A bullet of mass 50 gram is moving with a velocity 500 meter per second. It penetrates 10 centimeter into a still target and comes to rest. We need to calculate the kinetic energy possessed by the bullet and the average retarding force offered by the target. Okay. So we need to calculate these two things. Let's write. We need to calculate kinetic energy possessed by the bullet, first thing, and the retarding force So kinetic energy and force, first thing we need to imagine the scenario that the bullet is already in motion. It is already in motion with velocity, let's say initial velocity which is given 500 meter per second. Mass is already given which is 50 gram. So you can calculate it in kilograms, or we can write it 50 into 10 power minus 3 kilograms. Fine. And there is a target or a block which is given. It penetrates it up to a distance of 10 centimeter. Means the final condition is it penetrates the block up to a distance of 10 centimeters. So we can call it displacement S. And the final velocity, because it comes to rest, so V is 0 meter per second. So the question is to calculate the kinetic energy possessed by the bullet. You can calculate it simply. Initial velocity is given, so kinetic energy of the bullet K half mu square. From this you can calculate the kinetic energy. Okay, by putting the value of mass in SI unit 15 to the power 3 kilogram and initial velocity is 500 meter per second. So you can calculate the initial kinetic energy possessed by a bullet, because final kinetic energy will become 0. So the entire energy will get we can say spent in the form of work done. So again I am going to use work energy theorem. So according to the work energy theorem, the work done on the block, work which is done on the bullet to stop it on the bullet with the help of this block, W equals to change in kinetic energy, or kinetic energy final minus kinetic energy initial. So you can use this. Final kinetic energy would be 0. Initial kinetic energy is half mu square. So it would be negative half mu square, because V is 0, so half mv square will become 0. Negative sign shows that bullet the work is done on the bullet, not by the bullet. Work is done on the bullet. So you can leave this negative sign here, because we need to calculate only the retardation or the retarding force. You can calculate even retardation also. Retardation, the negative acceleration you can calculate. So let's go for it. So from half mu square you can calculate the work done, and this work done is also equivalent to force into displacement. Displacement is given here. Displacement is 10 centimeter, or you can say 10 into 10 power minus 2 meter. So this is the displacement. So you can calculate from this. You are having the value of work done here. You are having the value of displacement. So you can calculate the retarding force. So negative sign is simply showing the retarding force. So it would be minus half mu square upon the displacement S. From this you will be able to calculate the retarding force F. And if you want to calculate the retardation, so you can calculate it by a simple mass into acceleration. Force is mass into acceleration, equivalent to half mu square upon S. M to M will get cancelled, so you will be able to calculate the value of acceleration, half u square upon S. So I hope from this you will be able to calculate the answer. Okay. So your homework is to calculate, is to solve the numeric problems from exercise 2nd B. And one more thing, a relation between, you need to derive this, a relation between kinetic energy K and momentum P. P is linear momentum for a body of mass M. For this you need to derive a relation. So this is your homework. Find the numericals from exercise 2nd B and this relation. Okay.